All right, students, here I am with still our first notes in Unit 2, and now we're looking at Example 2. Simplify all expressions, giving all answers with positive exponents. I want to not forget that. Answers with positive exponents. All right, so now I have a quotient being squared. I've got a product in the numerator, a product in the denominator. So I've got two separate ways I can do this. The first thing I can do is I can reduce my fraction 6 over 8 because I want to simplify. So the first way to simplify is looking at 6 over 8. So 6 divides by 2 and I get a 3. 8 divides by 2 and I get a 4. So looking at just my numbers, I've got 3/4. Now I'm going to look just at the x's. X to the 5th. There are no x's in the bottom, so I've still got x to the 5th. And now in my denominator numerator, I've got y to the 3rd over y to the 4th. Well, that's 3 y's on top, 4 on the bottom. That's going to leave me with no y's on top and 1 y on the bottom. Now there's more in the bottom and the top. And still all of this is being squared. Well, that means that 3/4 is being squared. That means that x to the 5th is being squared. That means that 1 over y is being squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. X to the 5th squared. That's x to the 5th times x to the 5th, or x to the 10th. 1 over y squared. 1 squared is 1. Y squared is y squared. Putting that all back together, this x to the 10th is really up top in the numerator. 9x to the 10th times 1. I don't need that times 1. In the denominator, 4 times y squared. So that's a big one. I would encourage you to go back and try that on your own and make sure you got all that. Better yet, try this next one. Pause your video, try it, and then come back and look. So I'm going to separate out again. Negative 9 over 3. X to the negative 5 over x squared. Y to the negative 2 over y to the negative 4. So negative 9 divided by 3, that's negative 3. X to the negative 5, I'm actually dividing by x to the 5th. So that's 1 over x to the 5th. That x squared already has a positive denominator or positive exponent. I'm going to leave it down there. Now over here, my y squared, that comes to the denominator. My y to the negative 4 comes up to the numerator. So that's using my exponent laws over here with my negative exponents. And now I can put everything together. I've still got negative 3. If I want to, I could write that as negative 3 over 1. But I've got negative 3 in a numerator. X to the 5th times x to the 7th in the denominator, that's x to the 7. Y to the 4th divided by y squared, that's going to leave me y squared up top. I have more y's in the top than I do in the bottom. All right, let's try this one. Again, many ways to look at it. I think the first way, we could start with 3 to the negative 2 over 4 to the negative 2. Then I'm going to switch them around. That's going to be 4 to the positive 2 up top, 3 to the positive 2 in the bottom. 4 squared is 16, 3 squared is 9. If this simplified, I would want to simplify it first and then apply my negative 2. And again, you'll have your calculator. So for number ones, you can check it. So let's do that over here. We've got, let's clear this out. So I can make parentheses and then a fraction and then 3 over 4, close parentheses, and raise it to the negative 2 power. And there I go, 16 over 9. And remember, you always have your calculator, so practice with it. I'm going to make a separate video for these examples, D, E, and F.